Hey guys, welcome back to the Chaotic Kids channel, where I, Michelle, document my life here on YouTube as I try to become a full-time author while also traversing the worlds of multiple personalities. If that sounds interesting to you, stick around. But today we are going to be doing a day in the life where I'm editing JJ's project, which JJ's project is my young adult Christian fiction coming-of-age storyline, where I have a character who has some sort of dissociative disorder, discovering that he is in fact a system. So if that sounds interesting to you, stick around. Let's get into it. Hey guys, today is March 16th. Today we are working on JJ's project. It's been a while since I've had an update video on on JJ's story. So I think the last time I talked about it, I was working through edits of Act 1, which I was like, I didn't know how to exactly record videos for that because it was a lot of like reading what my editor had implemented, then also going back and reading and maybe tweaking a few things and stuff. But I was just like, I don't know how to edit that and make it a video. But this time I feel like I'm doing more dedicated days per chapter, and I think I've got it under how I want it to be exactly, like how to do it. So that's why I'm doing this video. But we are working on Act 2 edits, and these are my self-edits before I send it to my editor. I've been sending my books, well, at least the young adult books, I've been sending it in acts. So Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4. I am getting ready to send Act 2 to her. I'm just going to reread it, implement my changes that I want to edit. Also changing the present past tense situation, because that's something she told me a lot of. Like, I switch tenses a lot in Act 1, so I'm like, I want to make sure I'm doing the best I can do to make sure it's not switching tenses as much, just so she can focus on other things rather than present and past tense. Yeah, sorry if you can hear the wind. It's been windy and cold all week. Well, the last 2 days. But so, yeah. Yesterday, I worked on Chapter 13, which I will say, for a majority of Act 2, I've got it separated into two parts. So there's one author's perspective, then another author's perspective. Because JJ's story is JJ is a character, is someone who has dissociative identity disorder or other specified dissociative disorder. I'm not going to diagnose him. It's not my place. And even if I did diagnose him, I wouldn't know how criteria works and stuff. Just because I may have it, I just don't fully understand it because it's not something I'm specialized in, you know? But so he has alters, and right now in Act 2, so I'll just give you a brief update. Like, one of his alters, who, how do I put it? Like, I don't want to say two-faced, but like, he's more of a darker alter. And I think people call him prosecutors, but he's also a protector too. Maybe he's just actually a prosecutor and not a protector too, but I call him a prosecutor protector. And so he has taken full reign over the body. Like, he is in control. He's taken over the body very brashly. He pretty much kicked the character JJ out, and JJ is currently locked in the back of the mind, and now the rest of the alters are trying to get JJ back because he's the only one who can take down the other alter. Yeah. And this book is also it's supposed to be a Christian fiction book. So as I'm going in, I need to add in like Christian elements. But I'm also like, I don't know how well this is gonna go, because this book, like, as much as religion is a factor in this book, it's more of a mental health journey, if that makes sense. So it's just like, things are kind of like back and forth, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, so yesterday I worked on Chapter 13, which is the first chapter after Act 1 cutoff scene. I started at 56,896 words. I am currently now, after Chapter 13, it is at 57,756 words. So I added 860 words to the document. And what I do with my edits is I like to set 25-minute writing sprints. And like after 25-minute writing sprints, I will then go back, keep track of the word count. Then I'll set another 25-minute writing sprint and continue on. Unless I'm like, I just need to go back to go back to the beginning and redo it. But I typically, when I'm working on JJ, I like to do 2 rounds of the edits. Like 2 round of the edits before I even move on to the next chapter, the next section. Did I say Act 2's chapters are separated into like part 1, part 2? Just for different alters and stuff. But yeah, so yesterday I worked on part 1 of the chapter 13 in the morning, then Act 2 in the second part of the afternoon, and I worked on it for 3 hours, which I will say JJ's project, I've been working hard on edits for a while, because I think back in, was it February? Yeah, February, there was 1 week I worked 15 hours 1 week on JJ edits, and I'm just like, I don't want to do that again, but also I need to do it again, because the goal for Act 2 is to have this done and completed, like all my edits I want to implement and stuff done by the 30th, is there 30? The 31st of March, and then send that off to my editor. There's only like 8 chapters in Act 2, I think. And my goal is to get to chapter 16 this week. And I'm already on chapter 14, so like get past chapter 16. So basically chapter 17. And then next week do chapter 17 through 20. So that's kind of the goal. That's what I'm going to shoot for at least. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. And if I get it done earlier than that, that's great. I'm just trying not to overwhelm myself because it has been a little bit since I've worked on this book and done like real hard edits. Honestly, the last like month I've just kind of been loosey-goosey doing whatever I want. But I'm like, I need to focus on my books because that's what I'm trying to do, you know, focus on my books, trying to get them published and stuff. So yeah. But I've been talking for like 6 minutes, and even before this, I was recording different clips, that I ended up deleting, so it's been a while, since I've sat at my computer and worked. Well, had my computer pulled up. So I say let's just get into it. I am planning on doing part 1 of this chapter 14 this morning, and then moving on to part 2 of chapter 14 this afternoon. So yeah, got that to go look forward to. So I say let's just jump into it, okay? Bye. Hey guys, so it's about 10:40 right now. I just got done doing part 1 of chapter 14's edits done. I'm gonna take like a 5-10 minute break, watch this one video, and then I'm going to get started in doing part 2 of that edits of part 1. I will say right now I've added 358 words to it. It took me about an hour to do the edits. Sorry, I have a glove on because I'm cold. This hand is not because I have to push record and stuff. But yeah, so I'm at a grand total right now of 58,114 words to the document. Again, it is pretty high, but I have to remember that's to Act 2, like to the end of Act 2. But I also know, like, whenever I get to my whenever I get the edits back from my editor, they will go down, so that's something good to think about. But yeah, that's how things are going. It'll probably take me another hour to edit this second the second round of edits for part 1. But yeah, I think it's good. I will talk to you guys later after I get done with part 2 of it. Well, round 2 of it. So I'll see you guys in a little bit, okay? Bye. Hey guys, so it's my lunchtime break. Also, I got done with part 1 of chapter 14. So in the beginning, when I first did the 2 rounds of edits, I added words. I added like 300 words. The second time, I took out 200 words. Like the last two I took out like 200 words worth of words, 200 words. And so in part one, to part one, I added 132 words to the document, bringing up my total to 57,888. I guess it's okay. I'm glad I did get rid of words. Got rid of like that 300 words, because I was like, if I keep adding words to it, it's gonna be super long. Again, I have to remind myself that I'm at the end of Act 2, so realistically, I'm at like the climax. That's where I'm supposed to be. I think that's where the climax is. No, I'm still in the fun and games section. The climax is towards the end. Anyways, so got that. I will say, with the reason that I got rid of like 167 words in that my last run of it was because I had gotten like free Grammarly. I have free Grammarly. I used it for the most part, but then I also got like 20-30 minutes of like Pro Edition. So I went through and did all the corrections that it suggested. And that's why, like, all of it for chapter 13, and that's why I got rid of so many words, which is a good thing. I don't know if it makes it better or not. I don't know. I'm not rereading it again. But from the edits that I saw, it was good. But yeah, so worked for 2 hours this morning, added 132 words to the document, and I am planning on going to eat, then going to see my grandma, going to see my dad, and then also I need to also go to the store today. I have a lot of things to do this afternoon, so I will see you guys hopefully later this evening, if not, later this afternoon or evening time to work on the second part. So I'll see you guys then, okay? Bye. Okay, guys, so it is currently 3:30. I got back around 3 o'clock, but I just jumped straight into edits of part 2 of chapter 14. I got the first round of edits on chapter 14's part 2 done. I'm taking a little bit of a break. It took me like 30 minutes to do, so I'm probably going to set like a 40-minute timer and do the next round of edits. Yeah. I will say I did add like 237 words to the document. We'll see if I add or subtract any of those words. Yeah. No. That's all I gotta say. But I will say I did have a lovely time with my grandma and my dad. I will say my dad gets a little grouchy during the cold days. But he not necessarily grouchy. He just isn't as motivated, I guess. I don't know, like during the cold days, it really shows me like how kind of bad my dad is. Like, not bad like anything like that, but like how he's in a lot of pain, you know? So it just hurts me seeing him in pain. But you know, that's what happens when people get older, you know? Things just happen. I also went to the grocery store where I talked to somebody. And, you know, I told him, you know, like, my possibility, like, I would like to become a nun in, like, 5 years, you know. And he looked at me and he was like, is that possible for you? Like, is that something that even can happen for you? And I'm like, do you mean mental health-wise? And he's like, yeah, like, is that possible? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe not. But it really hurt me when he said that. I was like, just because I'm mentally, I guess, disabled almost, does that mean I'm not worthy of becoming a sister? I'm just like, I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. And I'm like, what does that mean, you know? And like, he could be right, you know? He could be right that I won't be able to become a sister that way. But I feel like with him saying that, it could throw me down a rabbit hole of like, just not being like, I don't want to do this anymore kind of thing. So I'm trying to get over that thought and be like, you know what? It might not happen, but I'm still going to pursue it. And I'm not going to let some random person tell me, or some random person that I knew from work, like, I'm not going to let him dictate what my goals are, you know? Like, I'm still going to strive for what I want. And, like I said, becoming a sister, becoming a nun might not happen, but I'm still going to give it my best shot, because that's all I could really ask for, is to have my best shot. Yeah, and, like, I was even, like, I was thinking on the way home, I'm like, if it doesn't happen, I'm still going to write my books. I'm still going to make sure that they have, not all of them, well, they all have some sort of reality and faith. Some might not necessarily be at, like, a Catholic religion, but, everyone has their own beliefs. I'm not going to try to dictate my beliefs onto somebody as my writing. But yeah, it kind of sucked thinking about that. But I've also been kind of him on the idea, because I'm like, I really just need to talk to a priest and then talk to some other people, and just kind of see what they would say. I'm just terrified of doing that, just because I'm like, I've always felt rejected, and just talking to someone and even feeling more rejected hurts my confidence a little bit. And, like, you're probably thinking, like, why do you, like, I have plenty of confidence when I'm talking to you guys on camera, but, like, I have all the confidence I want when it comes to camera, even though, like, yeah, people will see this, but, I don't really care what they have to say. But at the same point, those that I see on a regular basis, I do care what they have to say. Because I see them all the time, and, like, on YouTube, if you don't like me, don't watch me. I don't care. But in real life, I'll see these people, and I'll have to sometimes interact with these people, and I just don't want to have, like, bad vibes going on. So yeah, that's interesting. I've taken a long enough break. I am going to get back into doing my last 40-minute sprint, working on the edits, and hopefully this will get me to be done with chapter 14. So I will see you guys later, okay? Bye. Hey guys, so it's about 6 o'clock right now. I am getting ready. Okay, so I'm done working on JJ's story. I got to chapter 14 done, so I'm on chapter 15. I'm at a grand total of 58,289 words. I've already done my prayer time, I've done my rosary time, and now I'm going to be getting ready into doing some reading for the 3 ordinary voices of God, where I'm on chapter 3. I'm rereading chapter 3. But I was going to come on and say some things. So, first of all, while I was praying the rosary today, and also, like, doing my evening journaling, I was like, I really need to go to church. Not necessarily, like, go to mass, but at least sit in church, pray a rosary, and just be present with God, And I'm like, the reason I haven't done it, like, been there, like, I feel like I haven't been there for, like, 2 weeks. And I'm just like, it feels so weird not being there, especially considering I was making it, like, a part of my daily routine to, like, go to a church, go to mass. I mean, not go to mass, but go to a church, go to a cemetery, just be in the presence of God kind of thing. And I'm just like, it feels so weird not doing it right now. Yeah, so I'm like, I need to try to do it. I'm probably going to try to shoot for Wednesday. I probably won't do a vlog about that, but, I'm just saying I'm probably going to be doing that. And I will also say, so tomorrow I have therapy. Plan on doing work on JJ's story in the morning, and then after lunch, maybe go to a church, pray a rosary, then come back at 2, and then start, like, do my therapy. But I'm thinking on Thursday, when this video goes up, I think I'm going to do, possibly Thursday or Friday, I'm going to do a reading day. So I'm going to be reading several different books, or a reading vlog. I've got, like, 5 or 6 books that I'm wanting to read. You can actually see them stacked up right back there. I tried to do this on Saturday, which I think is partially the reason why Saturday was such a rough day for me. Because I don't think I told you guys, but I had a spell on Saturday. Like, one of my, like, non-coherent, out cold spells that I think I was shaking. I honestly don't know. Like, I can't remember after, like, I know I sat down to pray the rosary before church. I had an alarm set to be like, hey, church is at a different time, so this is when you need to leave, kind of thing. I had these ideas of going to confession, but there was just this point, I looked at my clock and I was like, there's no way I'm going to do confessions and go to mass today. So some part of me must have turned off that alarm and just completely zoned out. No, like, nothing was on upstairs. Like, my brother calls those, like, it usually happens in the morning, but, like, the lights are on in the head, but just no one's there. There's absolutely no communication. There's just blank. Yeah, so I had one of those on Saturday and it was super not fun. But I did try to do reading in the morning for it, and I think I want to do a reading vlog on probably either on Thursday or Friday. I'm gonna really try, and I think the reason I had that spell is because, like, I was trying to work on Saturday after having several days of travel and not really being able to work. So I'm like, let's just keep Saturdays as my Sabbath day and not do any work. Because honestly, I can tell whenever I miss a day that I'm not, like, a day that I'm supposed to be, like, a day that I'm supposed to just take a break. Because there is nothing wrong with taking a break. There is nothing wrong with taking a break. Everyone deserves to take a break. But anyways, I don't know if I'll come, okay. I am going to call it here for the day, I think. Because I'm going to be reading this. I've already read it. It's about the talents that God speaks to us through. I don't think I'll have anything majorly prolific to think about. I don't know, but I don't know. I just also want to keep, like, my spiritual time to myself, just because it is my time with God, not everyone's time with God. I don't know. It says someone who did an evening vlog where I did it. But yeah, that's kind of the game plan. So if you guys enjoyed this day in the life, comment down below. I will continue to do these probably up until the end of March. I also need to record chapters 10 and 11 I need to record those videos, but I don't think I'm gonna be able, I don't know. I need to do that. Sorry. But I will see you guys next time, and keep making fantasies come true one story at a time, okay? And I'll see you guys later, okay? Bye!